I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Would you rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think everybody that's here is going to be here.
Yeah. I don't know if you make it here.
Is there any additions or deletions?
I will have 2 additional checks, bills and claims.
Okay,
Small items.
we will make note of that. Is there a motion to approve the January 13th, 2025 council meeting minutes?
I move we approve the January 13th, 2025 council meeting minutes as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Reports. Councilwoman Colling.
Thank you. Looks like I did a lot of stuff this last 2 weeks. I attended the fundraising committee meeting for the Veterans Park project. The people on that committee are working really hard and are going great guns. I don't want to steal their thunder, so I'll let them go into the specifics of everything that they're going to do, but suffice to say that they're working really hard, and I was very impressed with their efforts. I attended business after hours at the senior center, had a good time talking with everybody, and that was a nice evening. Went to the Municipal County Joint Powers Board. I was reelected as vice chair. They talked about the plans for the new cell tower coverage that's going into the south of town that has to do with the wind turbines. The sheriff.
So that's going to be a while. That's
Oh, yeah.
money off of the Dutchman, but it's nice that we can get another tower up there for better communication in this
Yeah,
part of the
we need
county.
it down south, so,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then the sheriff asked us to remind everybody that fraud is running rampant. Phone calls, the sheriff's department, the FBI, the court system do not call you and demand that you send them gift cards. So please don't do that.
Gosh darn it.
And he talked about several different frauds that are ongoing. There's a class being put on by Risk Management, correct, through FEMA, on demystifying the cyber threats.
But the emergency management's putting it on, yes.
Okay, yeah. Risk Management, and it's demystifying cyber threats. You have to sign up for it, but as I understand, it's an 8-hour class. It's being offered both on the 25th and 26th of February. You get your choice. It'll be in Douglas, and it's open to governmental employees. So I would suggest that if you can work it into your schedule, it's probably something that would be good for all of us to attend.
I shared it I sent it to Tammy so we could get it out to all, like, department heads and everything here, so we got
Yeah.
it through the town.
Yeah, and Mary Shell sent it out.
Yeah, I just
Also.
made sure that we got it through everybody here
Yes.
for the town, so if there's somebody interested in going, they can.
So we need to get a hold of probably Tammy if there's
Yeah, and then
interest,
there's,
and she can.
I read part of that. I think you got to set up a portal
Through TEEX.
through TEEX and then go
If
back.
you've already
into it.
gone to one of the FEMA classes, are you already set up
I
in
don't-
that portal? Or
I'm not sure. I know she just told me to just follow the link at the bottom of the email.
Love that. Follow the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, you have to have a TEEX student ID. If you have a TEEX student ID, you just log into your TEEX account when you hit the link. If not, it'll tell you to create a student ID.
And if you don't know what your student ID is, just set up
So
a
you-
new one.
Or tell it you don't remember what your
Got it.
stuff was.
Okay, yeah.
It'll walk you through it.
Okay. So it doesn't sound too difficult.
It's not
to get
difficult.
signed up. And I think that's all I had.
Okay. Councilwoman Nunn?
Yeah, a few things going on here. The landfill board had their monthly meeting January 16th. Cost of garbage hauling to Casper is increasing. We started taking garbage to the Casper landfill for $54 a ton, and now we're up to $70 a ton. So our hauling bill to Casper this last month with transportation was $19,130. It would be financially benefit the landfill if we could figure out how to be able to function and haul less to Casper, as I suspect the rates are going to increase. Our current one idea to reduce the amount of material that needs to be hauled is to start a worm farm that uses cardboard. Sounds interesting, but I guess maybe we can knock our cardboard down. Any thoughts or ideas on reducing the amount of garbage being hauled to Casper, let us know. We're planning to have a storage building for equipment complete by mid-May, but our gatehouse project still in a planning phase. The Greens Department has been very busy processing trees into firewood and has given away a bunch of firewood this last month. The town donated a lot of trees to that, John. Thank you. Columbariums. 2 giant granite columbariums have been placed on a permanent pad in the new south addition of the cemetery. There are 164 niches, boxes, and each niche can be used to hold up to 4 urns. This is a very wise movement for the cemetery, as these will have very little maintenance, very little ground care, very little mowing, watering, and all that kind of stuff. A very beautiful burial alternative to our local cemetery. After purchasing a niche, the family may take the granite faceplate from their box and have it engraved in a manner similar to a headstone. And I just love that word, columbariums, because it makes me think, collect them and bury them, which is kind of the idea, I guess. The Veterans Park.
All right.
Well, I guess it would be collect them and box them, not bury them.
Yeah.
The fundraising, as Judy said, had a very productive meeting in January. The ladies on that committee have done a very thoughtful planning process for their April 26th major fundraising event, which sounds quite exciting with a lot going on. What a good job they're doing, and such an interesting variety of talent they bring to this project. No doubt in my mind they will have this beautiful park fully funded by our community and by reaching out to our neighbors who also have an impact on our community. And lastly, we were at WHAM last week, and there were some very interesting things that went on. One thing that was new to me was Gaming in Wyoming, presented by the Wyoming Gaming Commission. Maybe these guys know more about it than I do. I found it very interesting. There's several different directions to go. It's important that any gaming site in our community is a part of the town so that the money comes back to the town and not to the county. There's a bill, House Bill 385, in the legislature that would ensure that money from gaming within the town limit goes back to the town. A very interesting note, 1,000 Wyoming horses are racing in Gillette for 6 weeks. I didn't know there was that many sites that could race. There needs to have very fiscal responsibility if we take on some project like this. The largest customers, according to these people, are seniors and women over 35. I've got 2 tickets to get in. I'm good to go. Another interesting note, currently most of the lion sport wagering on TV that you see are illegal. This is a $321 billion illegal operation in our country. That's a lot of money out there that's illegal. And one very final thing was that we had a speaker called Andrew McCree that has this book, How Do You Create a Total Town Makeover? And he threw out some rather interesting ideas, I thought. First thing he said was, how do we view what is in front of us, which is always an interesting question. Why not? This is the question of possibility. The biggest problem our town faces is the people. What is here that is hard to find anywhere else? And one thing he painted out is, what is painted on your water tower, your water tank? Do you have something interesting for people to look at as you drive into town? Make it purposeful, Be positive, be creative. Your best link to the future may be the past. What if Glen Rock were a place that you would want to come back to? Is there some reason to come home to Glen Rock? And one very big point he made was small groups drive change, and we've seen that right here in Glen Rock. Our Main Street group has done many interesting things to change our community for the better. Wreath the Rock Long America brought a beautiful change to our community. Things like the food bank, the senior citizen thrift shop, even the golf course, are small groups trying to make our community better. There are many other people working in a good, positive direction for Glen Rock. We are very fortunate with this. Done. Guess I'll go gamble.
Well, the other thing that we've got going on with the Main Street group on our moving forward with the Veterans Park over here is I had the engineers come down. They were doing some survey work and stuff for our Forest Street water project that we're getting put together, and I had them put in all the markers down here around this piece of property so they can have a true plat to give of land size where in that botnet can work with, so they can design the exact size of the park and stuff for them. And we're also going to have another one of the drilling engineer firms that CEPI works with to come in and drill a few holes down there just to do some geotech, just to make sure that we don't have any unstable or any problems on the property with that type of weight being set there, so we take care of things. But that's what we've been working on with, besides what they're doing. I just thought I'd let everybody know what we've got the engineers doing. That's about all I've got on it. Councilman Delgar.
I don't really have a lot. Attended WHAM. It was good. The sessions were good. The most important part, though, is Kelly, I'm sure, is going to echo, is that it's not the session, just the people you talk to and meet while you're there. Reconnected with some old friends from Opal, Midwest, Evansville. It was good. It was a good time. That's all I got.
You know, one interesting comment that I heard at WHAM, but I thought was kind of scary. Dayton is considering having to unincorporate because they don't have enough money to maintain a town. That's kind of not an interesting thing to be hearing about in Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes to run one, and the funds that come in, it's hard to make ends meet sometimes. We're pretty fortunate here.
Yes, we are.
Where's Dayton? Is that near Manchester?
Yeah, it's north of Sheridan up there.
They've also had a lot of problems trying to keep like a clerk.
Yes.
And
Really?
such, yeah.
Just probably no money.
Yeah, if they lose tax funds, they won't be able to continue, they were saying.
Kind of
Tammy.
scary.
I really have just had the usual administrative stuff, some OSHA reporting, some legal stuff I've been working on with Amy, and nothing really out of the ordinary. So.
Kelly, treasurer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Attended WHAM, and yes, I'll mirror what Russ said. Content was good, but it was also nice to see a lot of faces that you only see once, maybe twice a year, and find out what's going on in other communities. The auditors will be here this Thursday all day and possibly half-day Friday. That's all they're anticipating. So fingers crossed on that one. That's about all I got.
Oh, no, it isn't. We now have an official state representative on the Treasurer's Board that's going to go to the National Board, and I think that is fantastic. It's official. She's
Thank
gone.
you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have a lot more than I did last time. We're still working on maintenance on our equipment, buildings, and been working on with the CPI on the engineering of the 4th Street project still. Other than that, that's about all I got. Thank you.
Wow, building inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. We ended the year with 134 building permits in the town last year. The senior center, that ramp is enclosed. They were doing wiring. They were finishing up the wiring. Sheetrock's going up today. Contractor renewals still going pretty strong. I did go to WHAM on Thursday last week and sat through the FEMA presentation, and then supposed to go to the DEQ one, and the guy didn't show up, so we ended up in the gaming section. And that was interesting. It's crazy to me that they said that they expect to spend over $1 billion on gaming, and I can't remember if that was next year or this year. They said that in the state they'd have over $1 billion in gaming, and that's just kind of shocking to me that we have that much gambling in our world, but we do. That's all I got.
And Lyle, didn't you find it interesting when they said that the border towns are going to gain from this more than the interior towns? Because if you have a border town, people from out of state can drop into your border town and gamble, like from Salt Lake City or wherever. Evanston's in a good spot.
It sounded like Cheyenne and Gillette and Evanston are planning
Torrington.
on
Was it Torrington?
huge
too?
facilities, Torrington. So it sounds like they're going to spend an incredible amount of money. The only part that bothers me is they're building this on people that are gambling. So, I mean, it used to be, like they said at the beginning of that presentation, in, what was it, 2003? It was shot down by the legislation, and all those machines went away, and now it's just...
But now that you can do them on your phone, they can't go away, so.
It's everywhere, but it is kind of disturbing to me. But that's all.
Chevy.
Okay.
Coordinator.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wrapped up the date night at the Square movie voting, so those are all set. So there will be 4 movies throughout the summer for the date night at the Square. There'll be a Saturday night, and they'll be starting at 8 o'clock, so once a month for those. Theater Thursday, voting started today, so that will be 10 movies, and the community will be voting for those. And working on finishing up the concert series, booking food trucks, and then next event will be the Easter eggs, so Easter egg hunt. So I have the eggs, just waiting for the date.
What are you doing with food trucks?
The food trucks are for the concert series.
For the concert
Yeah,
series?
I have to get them booked up. So
Are you going to be able to have several of them come in? Oh, that's
yeah, I
wonderful.
usually book 2 food trucks and a sweet truck.
Oh, that's
so
great.
try to
Very good.
Police Chief. Holder.
Evening, Mayor and Council. I also attended WHAM last week. As everyone said, there was some great training and communicating with other entities around the state. But one of the courses I focused on was regarding PROSPER, which stands for Proactive Reduction of Suicide in Populations via Evidence-Based Research. It was a pretty neat program. The state's actually paying for it right now, so I'm currently looking into bringing them down here to put on a course for our first responders as well as for the community. So hoping to have that going within the next couple of months, but it looked like it would be a pretty good thing to have, especially with the way that society's running lately. So last week we put on another presentation at the Senior Center regarding fraud and the different types of things to work for. It was pretty well attended, and everybody had nice things to say and some interesting questions for sure. So that was great. We'll be doing another one. I think Rachel hadn't set the date yet, but next week or the month after, I think. I can't remember. She said she was going to do them every month or every other month at this point, but that went well. So lastly, I forwarded an email to you guys which had a link to the newspaper article. I received an actual hard copy in the mail, but from the McNairy County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office back in November, we had a young lady call us from McNairy County, Tennessee, and let us know that she had been communicating with a young lady in our jurisdiction who was talking about harming herself. And so we were able to kind of use that information, figure out who exactly she was talking about, and go over and actually stop a young lady from potentially killing herself. So pretty handy. I thought it was very commendable. We don't see that a lot from the young people these days, willing to, put their friendship at risk, even if it is a, few states away online relationship. But so I reached out to the McNairy County Sheriff's Office and asked for their assistance in delivering a letter that I had written to her, as well as a couple of little tokens of our appreciation, and they went ahead and made a big thing out of it, and the local newspaper picked it up and did a pretty nice article on the whole thing. So like I said, I sent that to you guys' email, so if you want to look at it, you certainly don't have to pass this thing around, but they were nice enough to send me back a copy of that.
And thank you for sending that link, because I looked at it just before
Yeah.
it came.
Tried to send it ahead without too much lead time, but enough that you'd have it if you were interested. So yeah, it was really neat. I I think it's important to recognize young people when they do something like that, because it does seem to be something that's less and less lately. Outside of that, I was going to give you some numbers, stats for last year, but I'm still communicating as we speak with Carrie, trying to decipher all of it. So maybe by the next council meeting, I'll have something more in stone for you. And then we do have our new officer starting on Monday. So at the next council meeting, I'll bring him in and introduce him to you guys.
Okay. Nobody from the fire department, so we'll move on to, is there any items from the floor this evening?
Herschel Wickett, Mayor and Council. I don't really have anything new. I was just wondering what the status was of the building permits. If I was supposed to come to this meeting or the next one, I didn't know for sure.
The work session on the
Second, third.
Third.
3rd of February, I do know that when we've had the CEPI's surveyors been here, they've done several projects, and I also had set that up with Ray, that I see that there's some new flagging and stuff down there on your lots down through there, so they've been there and checked sizes and stuff, Hummer, so we should know something back from them here we have a meeting on Thursday with them. I don't know if that's here or in Casper, and I'll get some more information from Ray at that time, and we'll see where they're at, so we hopefully have some better information for you, where we're at and what's going on by the 3rd of February.
You want me to come back next meeting then?
Yeah, come to the council workshop meeting. That'll be at 5 o'clock here on the 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Any other items from the floor? He just stares at me. Okay, we'll move on to, there's no old business. Under our new business is the community gas project, the money coming, that's what, $6,424. So are we trying, do we have I thought we had a project kind of picked out. Or
Well,
not.
you and I had talked about the lights.
Down at Town
Lights
Square.
at Town Square, putting that money towards it, but I haven't, we haven't had a conversation with anybody else.
Yeah, so
Usually Randy
had picked out a few different things where we
ran that.
When did we get this?
We don't get it until, it's after the fiscal year, I think. Yeah.
Of last year? No, I don't mean the money. I mean this request that says
The application.
preferably by
Yeah,
December.
yeah, I had brought it up, and then we were discussing it, and she just, we got it in December, or the beginning of December, I think. So, yeah, but I've been in touch with her. She's,
I had one idea that I thought might be interesting to use this money for. I would like to see $2,000 of it only be designated to help the thrift shop at the senior citizens improve their display capacity, giving them some money to buy some shelving and some racks to display clothing. They've done extensive remodeling up in there, but the girls tell me that they could sure use some better shelving. I thought that might give them a nice hand to go directly to their shop for improving their displays up there. They offer a lot of services, not only to people in our county, but there are people from Douglas that are coming up here, especially with children, to take advantage of getting clothing for them.
Is this something we could maybe address at the work session, give us some time to?
Yeah, because we have a little time to give them that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we want
yeah,
to
she's
decide.
fine. She's fine.
Should be, okay. I didn't know if there's something we.
Yeah, we had a
to-
bunch going on at that time, and
this minute, or-
it just got
Yeah.
kind of by the wayside. But we've been pretty consistent about being late on that for a few years.
Yeah, they never care. They're giving us money.
We're trying to be consistent. But yeah,
In the
it's
past, what have we used it for?
we've bought some
Bleachers at
bleachers
South Rec.
and some
Workout.
picnic table stuff. We added stuff along with the workout spots along the pathway.
Yeah.
And a few things that have come up, just different projects that kind of promotes that community gas is, putting money back into our community for
Yeah,
projects.
it's supposed to be community
Based,
projects.
yeah.
And last year, we gave the veterans money to replace their flags and to build new poles so they could get them up and have good flags down there. I thought that was really a beautiful thing to do for our town.
So, yeah, think about that, and we can discuss that on our,
We had talked
February.
about having the trim light come out and to do the lights around town square so that they can change colors in the, with the whatever. But that could also be something we can budget.
Yeah, 'cause that
it'll be
was-
more than $6,000.
Ward 6, that's something that could be budgeted too. It just would help us with different holidays and stuff about some of the lighting there around the amphitheater and the buildings and stuff. So we knew if this was all dedicated to that or part of it, we'd still have to add money to the budget for the next fiscal year to cover it. So we can give you all those numbers and ideas about that when we at our work session. So we will talk about this in the February meeting, and we will bring it back for making a decision in the first meeting. I would guess the first meeting in February. So we'll go from there. I believe the next order of business on this long agenda is bills and claims. Is there a motion?
I move that we pay our bills and claims.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions about our bills and claims? Oh, in your motions, you made those, would you amend that to add the 2 extra checks
Certainly.
from Kelly?
As an amended motion to add the 2 additional checks that Kelly brought us tonight.
And they're minimal, just one to the Wyoming Secretary of State for a notary renewal, which is $60. And it's almost expired. That's the only reason we added it quickly. And then $450 to Western Skies Technology, who's doing the hosting of our website.
Okay. That's the additions. Is the second, whoever seconded it,
Yeah.
you're okay?
Second be amended.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Is there anything else to come before this meeting this evening? If not, I would ask somebody to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting before 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. I don't think there's any discussion, so I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed by nay. Motion carries.